Welcome to the US Weekly News Summary. Here are this week's top stories. First, the Federal Reserve has officially decided to hold interest rates steady following their mid-March meeting. For many Americans, this means the cost of borrowing money will remain elevated for the time being. Chair Jerome Powell noted that while the economy is showing resilience, inflation is proving more persistent than policymakers previously anticipated. Until we see a more significant cooling in the labor market and further progress toward the target inflation rate, the Fed is holding firm. For you, this means high interest rates on credit cards, auto loans and mortgages are likely to persist a bit longer. While this is frustrating for those looking to buy a new home or finance a large purchase, the Fed remains committed to balancing these costs against the need to stabilize the broader economy and avoid future price volatility. Moving on to national security, the US House of Representatives has passed a significant bipartisan cybersecurity bill aimed at shielding our energy and water infrastructure. In an era where digital threats from abroad are becoming increasingly sophisticated, this legislation is vital for the average citizen. By mandating new, stricter reporting requirements for private companies that manage our utilities and increasing federal funding for defensive technology, the government is looking to prevent large-scale service disruptions. For you, this translates to better protection for the essential services you rely on daily. It's a proactive step toward ensuring that a foreign cyber attack doesn't result in a loss of power or water in your community. Protecting our critical infrastructure is fundamentally about protecting your quality of life, and this bill provides a necessary framework to keep those systems operational and secure from digital interference. In the legal arena, the Supreme Court has begun hearing arguments regarding state-level social media regulations. At the heart of this case is the question of whether individual states can restrict how platforms moderate political content. This is a massive issue for Americans who spend hours every day on digital platforms, as it touches on the balance between free speech protections and the desire to curb online misinformation or censorship. If the court rules in favor of states, your social media feed could look very different depending on where you live. The justices are currently weighing the First Amendment against the challenges of the modern digital square. For the average user, the outcome of this case could redefine how much influence you have over what content you see and how strictly these powerful tech corporations are allowed to curate the information that shapes our national political conversation. Shifting to the environment, a severe spring storm system has swept across the central United States this week, bringing record-breaking snowfall to parts of the Rockies and triggering intense thunderstorms in the plains. This system has forced thousands of families to remain on high alert. With multiple tornado warnings and flood watches affecting 5 different states, the immediate impact for Americans in these regions is clear. Safety is the top priority. Beyond the immediate danger, these extreme weather patterns continue to put a strain on local emergency services and highlight the ongoing challenge of climate instability. If you are in the path of these storms, the National Weather Service is urging everyone to keep their emergency kits ready and stay informed. Whether it's flooding or wind damage, these events serve as a sobering reminder of why disaster preparedness remains a critical necessity for households across the Midwest and Plains. Looking at the future of technology, a coalition of major tech firms has announced new voluntary AI safety protocols, specifically focusing on standardized watermarking for AI-generated media. As we approach a major election cycle, this move is designed to help you distinguish between real footage and content created by large language models or image generators. For most Americans, the spread of deepfakes and misinformation has become a significant source of anxiety when browsing the internet. By identifying AI-generated content, these companies hope to provide you with more transparency. While this is a voluntary agreement, it represents a pivotal shift in how Silicon Valley is acknowledging its responsibility to the public. For you, this means a better chance of verifying what you see on your screens, hopefully helping you navigate the digital landscape with more confidence and less fear of being misled by synthetic media. On the economic front, the US has finalized a new trade agreement with key partners aimed at securing the supply chain for critical minerals used in electric vehicle batteries. This is an important development for the future of American manufacturing and the transition to cleaner energy. By reducing our dependency on single-source suppliers and providing incentives for domestic processing facilities, the government is working to ensure that the US remains competitive in the global market. For the average American consumer, this could lead to more stable pricing and better availability of electric vehicles in the coming years. It also signals a long-term investment in American jobs, as the move toward domestic processing aims to revitalize local industrial centers. Securing these supply chains is a strategic move to ensure that the energy technologies of tomorrow are built right here at home, supporting our economy and independence. Regarding education, the Department of Education has released updated data on the new FAFSA application process. Despite earlier technical delays that left many families feeling stressed, over 70% of applications have now been successfully processed. The government has also extended deadlines to ensure that students have enough time to carefully review their financial aid packages before making critical decisions about their future. If you are a student or a parent currently navigating this system, this is a positive sign that the backlog is clearing. The goal is to ensure that no student is forced to delay their education due to bureaucratic hurdles. While the rollout has been rocky, the focus is now on getting these aid determination into the hands of those who need them most, ensuring that the dream of higher education remains accessible and affordable for families across the country. In the aviation sector, the FAA has announced a surge in safety inspections at major commercial aircraft manufacturing facilities. This decision comes after a series of concerning reports regarding quality control lapses and missing documentation on new jetliners. For the millions of Americans who fly for business or pleasure, this news is both alarming and reassuring. It's alarming because it highlights potential risks in aircraft production, but it's reassuring to know the FAA is stepping up its oversight to prevent these issues from impacting passenger safety. If you have travel plans, you should feel confident that the government is taking active steps to ensure that the aircraft you are boarding meet the highest standards of safety and maintenance. These inspections are a critical layer of protection for the flying public, ensuring that manufacturing shortcuts never compromise the integrity of the planes that carry us safely to our destinations. Turning to our national defenses, the Pentagon has confirmed the deployment of additional cybersecurity personnel to support critical infrastructure sectors. This decision follows a rise in foreign state-sponsored probing of our domestic communication networks. For Americans, this means that the federal government is taking a hands-on approach to defend the essential digital infrastructure that keeps our country running. This isn't just about protecting military secrets, it's about ensuring that your home internet, your banking access, and your local power grids remain protected from unauthorized interference. By proactively positioning these experts in the field, the Department of Defense is working to build a more resilient digital perimeter for you. This provides a necessary layer of security as our daily lives become increasingly intertwined with digital systems that are constantly being targeted by actors seeking to disrupt American stability and privacy. Regarding where we live, new Census Bureau data shows a continuing trend of internal migration toward the Mountain West and Southeastern states. Many Americans are packing up and heading to secondary urban centers, driven by a desire for a lower cost of living and the flexibility offered by remote work policies. If you've noticed your local area becoming more crowded, this report confirms that you aren't alone. This shift is fundamentally changing the face of the American workforce and the housing market. For those moving, it offers an opportunity to find more affordable housing and a different pace of life. For those in these rapidly growing communities, it brings new economic investment, though it also creates challenges regarding infrastructure, such as traffic and school capacity, that local governments will need to address to accommodate this influx of new residents. In the realm of healthcare, a Senate committee is holding hearings to investigate significant gaps in health insurance coverage. Lawmakers are currently looking into reports of delayed care and increasing out-of-pocket costs for essential medical procedures. Many Americans have struggled with surprise billing practices, and these hearings are aimed at determining if existing regulations are actually working to protect the average patient. If you've ever felt overwhelmed by a medical bill or frustrated by insurance coverage denials, you know just how high the stakes are. The goal of these hearings is to create more accountability for insurance providers and ensure that your health coverage actually covers the care you were promised. This investigation is a vital step toward reforming a system that too often leaves patients with unexpected financial burdens when they are already at their most vulnerable. Finally, looking to the stars, NASA has officially begun the final integration phase for the next Artemis lunar mission modules. This mission represents a massive step forward in our exploration of space, with plans to conduct long-duration testing of life support systems in lunar orbit. For Americans, this program represents more than just scientific curiosity. It is a point of national pride and a driver of innovation that often trickles down into technology we use every day on Earth. By testing these systems in the harsh environment of space, NASA is pushing the boundaries of what is possible, inspiring the next generation of engineers and scientists. As we prepare to return to the moon, we are also laying the groundwork for future deep space exploration. It is an exciting time for the country as we push the limits of human achievement. That's your weekly US recap. Subscribe for more updates.